Вітаю! Сьогодні ми представимо вам німецькомовну програму, яка дає можливість отримати подвійні дипломи німецькі та європейські студії. Цю програму пропонує спільно університет НаУКМА, Києво-Могилянська академія та університет міста Єна. Цей захід буде проходити англійською мовою, але перед тим я представлю всіх учасників. Це Гізела Цімерман, керівниця інформаційного центру ДАД у Києві, Ангелос Джанакопулос, це координатор програми німецькі та європейські студії в НаУКМА, Марі Клер Бреннер, це координатор програми в університеті міста Єна. Також ми запросили на наш захід учасниць цієї програми Анастасія Красновид, яка закінчила цю програму вже, Анжеліка Чечеркоза, яка зараз навчається на цій програмі. Також у нас учасники є наші асистентка ДАД Ірина Арнт, яка працює в цій програмі. І я надаю слово представникам цієї програми. So, you can start.
Yes. Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your interest in the DES program at НаУКМА and for joining us today evening. I would like to provide you very shortly, really very shortly, some with basic information about the DES program at НаУКМА. Can I please share my monitor with the group?
Yes, 1 second. Now it should be possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see this slide?
Yes.
All fine.
Okay. Well, I will provide you with very short information. I assume that you have already visited our website, the website of the DES program at НаУКМА, and you are informed about about different aspects of the program, about contents, about courses, about the structure of the program. But this is why I will only provide you with basic information from my side right now, for the time being. So the master's program, it is a master's program in political science. It is based on the Department of Political Science of НаУКМА in Kiev, with a specialization in German and European studies. So DES means Deutschland und Europastudien, okay, in German. It is a joint venture, actual academic joint venture between НаУКМА in Kiev and the University of Jena in Germany. So this means this is a double degree program. And I think the next slide provides more information on that. So in the frame of this program, in this cooperation between НаУКМА and FSU in Jena, there's a mutual course recognition by both institutions, by both partners. Students, however, are firstly enrolled at НаУКМА for the first year. The admission process runs over the НаУКМА. We will speak about the application and admission process later on during this event today. This is actually one of the main topics of the today's event, the application and admission process. There are, of course, common examinations, examination requirements, grading, written exams. These are the assignments, common assignments between both institutions. And in the end, all of that results, as I told you already, in a double degree in political science with a specialization in German and European studies. So that's all for the moment. I stop here. And I mean, if you have questions later on, I'm still here. You can ask all questions you might have. And we are just here in order to answer your questions today, right? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angelos. And we might perhaps at this point go out of the presentation so that we're seen more like
Okay.
talking heads. You will have the chance as Dr. Liana Kopoulis was already saying, you have the chance to talk to a number of people and we'll pretty much cover everything from students who are currently on the program to alumni, to the coordinators, and so on and so forth. I would briefly like Angelika Cicciosa to tell us something about her experience with the program. She's currently a first-year master's student. Angelika, what was it that made you decide to apply for the program?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for your question. Actually, I have been always interested in politics, but when I needed to decide what I want to do as my bachelor's, I decided for linguistics, for technical translation, and when I graduated from this program, from this university, I understood that it's time I changed something and finally follow the path that I want me to be developed in. And after that, I also found out that this program is taught in German and English, and that for me could be a great chance to improve my language knowledge aside from basic political knowledge, and that's basically built my interest in this program. Yeah.
Thank you, Angelika. So you basically, I assume, had a very easy time with the language requirements since your English and German was already quite good. There are a number of tests, of entry tests that Angelos is still going to talk about. How did you prepare for the tests, especially since you're not a political scientist? Was it difficult for you?
Okay, firstly, I'd like to say that there were two tests. The first one was language one, and there one could choose between English and German, and basically it requires just the B2 level. That's why it wasn't difficult at all, I guess. And even if it might seem difficult for someone, it's still possible to get prepared for it. And if we are talking about the exam that was in August in political science, I can say that it was quite challenging for me as I haven't studied it before, but I can say that there are some definite questions. For example, in our case, it was 88 or 90 questions at all. And also there was literature that helped us to prepare. And that's why one can just look through this, go through this list, go through these questions, find information, and just prepare to it if one is diligent and eager to study.
So you're studying right now in a very interdisciplinary group. What are the backgrounds of your fellow students?
Basically, it's we can say it's 50-50 because I guess 3 fellow students graduated from the program of political science, and I graduated from another faculty. My colleague studied marketing before, another Russian language, if I'm not mistaken, and another one history. So basically, we all have very different backgrounds, and also those who studied political science, they did not do it at НаУКМА, so they came also as newcomers.
Okay, and my last question for the time being, and I'm sure the participants at the end of the will have a lot of questions here as well. How are you now coping in the program? Do you need to catch up with some of the political science courses? How does that work?
Generally, I can say that the program itself does not require very deep knowledge. So especially all the subjects that we got acquainted with during the first semester, trimester, and semester were so basic. So we got acquainted with all of the information. That's why all of the information given during this disciplines was enough. And so we did not need to deepen our knowledge so externally by some additional materials. But I can say that with every new trimester, with every new discipline, one can see that one needs to learn a bit more. So because it's becoming more complicated, and as we are going to study also German disciplines in Germany, one needs to be prepared that it's a huge workload. That's why that's the thing that we were warned before we entered this program, that it's quite difficult to combine it with work, for example, full-time work, as many students would like to do, because it really requires a lot of time, and it's true, I can totally relate.
Okay, yeah, but I'm sure it's worthwhile in the end. We'll come to that later when we'll talk to our alumna Anastasia. But perhaps since you were already talking about the entrance process and the entrance exams, Angelos, could you tell us a little bit more what people have to do to enter the program? Microphone, Angelos. Angelos, we don't
Yes, I
hear you.
have to open,
Okay.
I have to find first the presentation again. Just a moment, please. Okay. Yes, exactly. Well, here it is. So I will let you now see the presentation. Here, okay. Well, I count actually 7 different steps toward admission to the desk program at НаУКМА. So this is the first step, step 1. It takes place in the time between May 11th and June 3rd, online. And this is, of course, just the online registration for the language entrance exam. By the way, I would like to welcome Professor Margarita Chabana. She just joined us. Good evening, Margarita.
Yes, good evening. Sorry, my computer has to be repaired, so now I'm using mobile internet, and to provide better connection, I didn't switch on video. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, it takes.
Margarita. Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad to see you. Yes, Gisela, I'm happy to see you again. And now, so I'm sorry it took time to connect to this meeting because of some technical issues.
Margarita Chabana, who we weren't able to introduce before, is professor at НаУКМА. So she's sort of the last bit of our puzzle, so to speak.
Yeah, sure.
Then we have all aspects covered.
Yes, sure. Thank you for this. Yes, and I'll be glad to answer your questions now. I mean, concerning admission procedure and maybe concerning some study process or something like this. I see that Angelos took into account almost all aspects of admission procedure, so I will not interrupt you, and I'll be ready to answer the questions.
And Margarita, just for our procedure, we'll have the questions after we've stopped our recording, so we'll go through with the rest of it, and people can write questions, of course, in the chat. Please feel welcome to do that. And after that, we'll switch off the recording, and people can also ask questions in person then.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Data protection, that's something that you learn about in European studies, I'm sure.
Okay, I see. I'll be sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Angelos, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Well, now I will, of course, very shortly describe the whole procedure. I mean, the application and admission procedure. And Professor Chabana is anyway here in order to, to answer your questions. She's in the position, definitely the position, to provide detailed and accurate answers to your questions regarding this process. Well, now, as I told you, there are 7 steps towards admission in this program. Step 1 takes place between May 11th and June 3rd, online. It has to do with the online registration for language entrance exam. The second step lasts until June 30, offline. This is the time when the unified language exam takes place, and the exam, again, the language exam can can take place either in English or German, not both. I mean, you can decide in which language you will make this exam. Now, step 3, in the time between July 15th and 23rd, again online. During this time, you have to register yourself for the written exam in political science. These are the deadlines. Step 4, offline again, July 26th, July 28th. It is the time when the written exam takes place in political science. Regarding this, I will provide you with some more information. Anyway, regarding this exam, the specific exam, but also regarding the exam in German, at least, we will provide you with a lot of help. But I can tell you more regarding this later on, and I will send you tomorrow to all candidates or students that are interested in the program. I will send you definitely more materials on that, on the written exam in political science, and regarding the written exam in German. We will provide you with help, definitely, regarding this. Now, step 5, end of July, early August, online. You will be invited. Successful candidates succeeded in the exams will be invited to a personal interview in German language. Okay, with my colleague, Miss Brenner, who is the coordinator of this program at Jena University, and me. We will be the two ones who will conduct with you these interviews in German language. But the date is not yet known. We will provide you with the date, of course, beforehand. Step 6 now, in early August, August 2nd, 7th, submission of documents offline, in offline mode, submission of documents for budgetary placements and their award by August 12th this year. And finally, step 7, during almost the same time, August 2nd to 13th, offline, submission of documents for contractual placements and their award by August 16th. So this is very shortly described the whole process regarding application and admission to the program. This is, for the time being, all from my side again.
Thanks. Thanks again, Angelos. That sounds very well organized, sort of very German, of course. And so, assuming now you've made it into the program, we'd like to talk to one of the alumni, Anastasia Krasnovic. Anastasia, what was your background when you entered the program?
Yeah, good evening already. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I was actually had my bachelor degree in teaching English language and literature. So it was nothing to connect. It wasn't connected with German at all and with political science. But yeah, that one, this sphere, I mean, political science, that one I was dreamt of.
Okay. Did you already know German when you entered the program?
It was very basic level, and but it was already, I had an opportunity to get through the interview in German, and I think that was a success.
Obviously, it was successful. And you decided to go for the double degree, right? Which is not mandatory, of course. And you spent a semester in Jena or a year in Jena. How long were you in Jena?
Yeah, I spent their semester in Jena, and after I came back to Ukraine, there was the beginning of COVID-19. That is why it was difficult a little bit.
Yeah, that was an unusual situation, but at least you were able to study for one semester in Jena pre-COVID, so to speak. Really at the University of Jena. Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, did you feel you were pretty much prepared for Jena, both academically and culturally? Were there things that surprised you? What were the differences, so to speak?
Okay, so Jena is some kind of love, that's for sure. And yeah, really, there were nothing like that was difficult for me to yeah, to study there or to live there or anything else. And of course, and the most important thing that professors approach in НаУКМА and in Jena was different. And of course, my great passion was libraries. That is why everything was on the high level. And of course, the variety of courses that you can choose. That is also, I think, a very important point here. And of course, networking with people, like experts, friends. By the way, I had just received, really just today, before before our session, I received a short present from my German friend.
That's great.
Yes, and of course, it broadens my horizons. I will just shorten this one.
Yeah, you're talking also about friends and about life in Jena, and of course, what interests most people who are going to Germany. How did you find a place to stay, an apartment or a room? Was that difficult?
It wasn't difficult. So our teachers, our professors helped us a lot to find. Our mentors helped us to find places, and we stayed. All of us, stayed in the hall of residence, and it is some kind of one big apartment for 4 people, and they have like every person has their personal room. So this process was really easy, I think.
Okay, that's reassuring to know, so that Jena really keeps track of helping you to find a place. How did you finance your stay in Jena?
That was scholarship from the AD, and it helped us a lot to cover all our expenses, and it was really enough for us to stay there and to travel, of course, and to buy special books or anything that we need for our studying there, and yeah, that's
okay.
That was fun.
What did you do in your free time?
Oh, such an unexpected question. Well, actually, that was cool there to go in for sport there, because I'm not sure what is possible. I'm sure that it's possible online now to do this, but before that, we were able to go in for sports outdoors and indoors, and then I also visited dancing club, and we were able to be represented in different festivals, and yeah, we spent a lot of time with our friends, and it is also, I think, very important. We prepared a short intercultural evening, Ukrainian evening for our German friends, and not only German friends, in Jena. It was really good.
Well, sounds like you had a busy time, and then you came back. You wrote your master's thesis, I assume. Did you write that with a German professor, with a Ukrainian professor, with a set of 2 professors? How did that work?
Yeah, I know that is some kind of different situation right now, but before we had to write 2 master theses,
yes.
one in Ukrainian, by the way, with Frau Shabana, The second one was in German with Professor Olaf Leise and Thea Maria Schatz.
But I assume you wrote the two theses nevertheless about the same topic, right?
Yeah, it wasn't very different, but it wasn't also the similar, like not the same one.
May I please intervene? Excuse me, because this is a very important point. It's a very important point. We now simplified procedures in the program. The students have only to submit one thesis written in English. Okay, so this is very simplified now. This is much more easier than it used to be in the past.
Absolutely, and
You're like a
much. Yes, absolutely. Well, and it's of course basically much more fitting for a real double degree. So you graduated during the pandemic, which makes it a little bit more complicated. Could you tell us, I mean, what are you doing now professionally? Did the program help you to sort of enter the profession? What are your plans for the future?
Well, what I like about political science that you can enter almost different spheres like NGOs or government or analytical centers, projects, etc. And now I'm in the process because I suppose that I have a lot of time, at least some time, to find myself. And before I had experience in the Ukrainian Social Academy. Then I had an internship in Transparency International. And now I'm like working. I'm a trainee in Верховна Рада України in the committee on the Ukraine's integration to the EU. And that is like the sphere that covers my studying.
Yeah,
And I'm really happy about that.
I can imagine.
And also my friends that have graduated from this program, we are all friends, no colleagues or somebody, we are friends. And they studied, they work in Henkel, Porsche, and in the Botschaft, German embassy. And I think that is, you can see that this program helps us to follow our dreams and to be really professional.
Yeah, so basically it's a good start if you want to work for international organizations and in European organizations. Great, thank you very much, Anastasia. I'm sure that our participants will also have a lot of questions. I would suggest that perhaps we'd stop the recording right now, or did you still want to add something, Anglos, because that would give our participants a chance to ask their questions without being on YouTube for the rest of their lives, so to speak. Okay, Sonia?
Yes, we can shift to the questions now. I don't have any
I think so, yeah. Sonia, would you, so recording has stopped now?